Y'all better brace yourselves, because what you're about to hear isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a story that completely flips the narrative fans thought they understood. This situation has layers of alleged betrayal, emotional manipulation, financial controversy, and public humiliation, all colliding in a way that feels more like a scripted drama than real life. Claressa Shields, a woman known for her confidence, strength, and dominance in the ring, now finds herself at the center of a scandal that no amount of physical toughness could have prepared her for. What once appeared to be a loving, supportive relationship is now being questioned from every angle, and the revelations keep getting darker with each new report. Claressa openly spoke about how different this relationship felt compared to anything she had experienced before. She emphasized the emotional support, the way she was spoken to, and how she finally felt understood and valued. In her eyes, this wasn't just companionship, this was partnership, someone she trusted with her heart, her plans, and her future. She believed she was building something real, something lasting, and she wasn't shy about expressing that belief publicly. To her, the love felt genuine, grounded, and secure, and she carried that confidence into every public appearance and interview. She even spoke openly about long-term plans. Claressa talked about fighting a couple more times, then taking a break, possibly starting a family, having a child, and eventually returning to her career. That kind of planning doesn't come from uncertainty, it comes from trust. She believed she had found someone who was aligned with her goals, someone who was ready to build alongside her, not just enjoy the spotlight. Fans watched her speak with optimism and vulnerability, convinced they were witnessing a woman who had finally found peace in her personal life. But according to multiple reports and insider claims, while Claressa was dreaming about forever, Papoose was allegedly living a completely different reality. Behind the scenes, beyond the curated photos and public appearances, there was reportedly a double life unfolding, one that Claressa had no idea existed. Allegedly, major holidays like Christmas were not spent with Claressa, but with Remy Ma. Even more shocking, reports claim that his daughter's birthday celebrations were also spent with Remy Ma, while Claressa believed she was the woman standing beside him in his life. These allegations alone force people to re-examine everything. Every smile in public now feels different, every appearance feels staged, every affectionate moment feels rehearsed. What fans once viewed as proof of love now appears, at least according to these claims, as part of a carefully constructed illusion. If true, this wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment, it was an ongoing deception maintained over time. And then came the revelation that sent shockwaves through social media and the celebrity world. Allegedly, leaked documents surfaced suggesting that Remy Ma is pregnant and that the child is reportedly Papoose's. This wasn't framed as rumor or speculation, but as information supported by documentation that many say confirms the situation. For Claressa, this revelation would represent more than betrayal. It would be confirmation that the life she believed she was building simply wasn't real. The emotional weight of that kind of discovery cannot be overstated. Imagine trusting someone deeply, envisioning a future, sharing your resources, your time, your heart, only to discover that while you were planning forward, they were actively building something else entirely. Allegedly, Claressa wasn't just blindsided emotionally, but strategically kept in the dark while major life events unfolded without her knowledge. As if emotional betrayal wasn't devastating enough, reports also suggest an alleged financial component to the situation. According to these claims, Claressa's money was allegedly used to help fund expenses connected to this secret life. Bills, celebrations, and everyday costs were reportedly covered using resources she believed were part of a shared future. If true, this transforms the story from heartbreak into alleged exploitation, where trust wasn't just broken, but used as leverage. Financial manipulation cuts differently. It's not just about money, it's about control, access, and deception. Claressa reportedly believed she was contributing to stability and growth, while those same resources were allegedly redirected to maintain appearances elsewhere. That kind of realization can shatter someone's sense of reality, making them question every decision they made out of love. And then, as the situation continued to unfold publicly, 50 Cent entered the conversation, and he did not hold back. Through social media posts and commentary, he openly mocked Clarissa's devotion and claimed he saw the situation coming from the very beginning. He labeled Papoose as an opportunist, a playboy, and someone whose intentions were never genuine. His tone wasn't sympathetic, it was sharp, dismissive, and publicly humiliating. Whether people agree with 50 Cent's approach or not, his involvement poured gasoline on an already raging fire. What could have remained a deeply painful but somewhat private situation turned into viral content, dissected and debated by millions. Clarissa's heartbreak was no longer just hers. It became entertainment, commentary, and fuel for online discourse. Fans reacted in real time. Some expressed shock and sadness, others anger and disbelief. Many sympathized with Claressa, recognizing the emotional toll of being publicly betrayed while already processing private pain. Others questioned the signs they may have overlooked, reevaluating moments they once celebrated as genuine. Social media became a courtroom of public opinion, with every post, every interview clip, and every leaked document analyzed frame by frame. Reports from people close to Claressa describe her as emotionally shattered, allegedly struggling to process how someone she trusted so deeply could orchestrate such an elaborate deception. The psychological impact of realizing your relationship may have been a performance can be devastating. Doubt creeps in, not just about the other person, but about your own judgment, your own instincts, and your own worth. This story resonates because it goes beyond fame. It speaks to a universal fear, believing in something wholeheartedly, only to discover it was never what you thought. Clarissa's strength in the ring didn't shield her from emotional vulnerability, and that contrast makes the situation even more tragic. She wasn't careless, she was trusting. As more reports emerged, the narrative expanded. Allegations of secret communications, hidden celebrations, and carefully curated public appearances painted a picture of someone allegedly skilled at maintaining dual realities. If true, this wasn't accidental, it was methodical. Every public moment served a purpose, reinforcing an image of loyalty while concealing the truth. The alleged pregnancy confirmation became the final piece of the puzzle. For many observers, it validated suspicions and fears that had been whispered but never proven. For Claressa, it would represent a devastating confirmation that her love had been weaponized against her, not just emotionally, but socially and financially. What makes this story especially painful is the public nature of the fallout. Claressa didn't get the privacy to grieve quietly. Every reaction was watched, every silence was interpreted, every appearance became a statement whether she intended it to be or not. Her pain unfolded under a spotlight she never asked for. This situation has sparked broader conversations about manipulation, opportunism, and power dynamics in celebrity relationships. Fame adds complexity, money adds leverage, and public perception adds pressure. Allegedly, Claressa found herself caught in the middle of all three, navigating heartbreak while being scrutinized from every angle. The viral nature of the scandal ensures it isn't fading anytime soon. Leaks continue to surface, commentary continues to circulate, opinions continue to clash. Each new detail adds weight to a story that already feels unbearably heavy. What began as love now stands as a cautionary tale about trust misplaced and loyalty exploited. Claressa Shields' heartbreak, if the allegations are true, represents more than personal loss. It's a reminder that strength doesn't make you immune to deception, and love doesn't guarantee honesty. Her story has become a cultural moment, a tragic blend of celebrity, scandal, and raw human emotion. However, Claressa wasn't living in the moment alone. She was planning ahead. She talked about fighting a few more times, then stepping back, possibly starting a family, having children, and returning to the ring later. That level of planning doesn't come from uncertainty. It comes from trust. It comes from believing the person next to you is building with you, not just standing beside you temporarily. To fans watching from the outside, Claressa looked happy, grounded, and confident in her personal life in a way they hadn't seen before. The relationship appeared supportive, stable, and intentional. But according to numerous reports and allegations, while Claressa was dreaming about forever, Papoose was allegedly living a completely different reality, one Claressa had no idea existed. Behind the scenes, beyond the public smiles and curated images, there was reportedly a double life unfolding quietly. Allegedly, major holidays like Christmas were not spent with Claressa, but with Remy Ma. Even more disturbing, reports claim that his daughter's birthday celebrations were also spent with Remy Ma, not once, but repeatedly. All of this allegedly happening while Claressa believed she was the woman he was committed to, building a future alongside him. When these details began to surface, everything fans thought they understood suddenly felt different. Old interviews took on new meaning. Old photos felt staged. Old public appearances began to look like performances rather than genuine moments. According to these allegations, this wasn't a one-time mistake or a lapse in judgment. It was a long-term deception carefully maintained while presenting a completely different image to the world. If true, it suggests a level of planning and compartmentalization that makes the betrayal even harder to process. Then came the revelation that turned shock into disbelief. Allegedly, leaked pregnancy documents surfaced, claiming that Remy Ma is pregnant and that the child is reportedly Papoose's. This wasn't framed as idle rumor or internet speculation. According to reports, documentation was leaked that many believe confirms the pregnancy and paternity. For Claressa, this would have been devastating beyond words. It wouldn't just represent infidelity, it would confirm that while she was planning a future involving children and family, that future was already being built elsewhere without her knowledge. That kind of realization doesn't just break your heart, it shatters your sense of reality. It forces you to question every memory, every conversation, and every promise you believed was genuine. Allegedly, Claressa wasn't just emotionally blindsided, she was strategically kept in the dark while major life events unfolded behind her back. As if emotional betrayal wasn't enough, the story took an even darker turn with allegations of financial exploitation. Reports suggest that Claressa's money was allegedly used to cover expenses connected to this secret life. Bills, celebrations, and everyday costs were reportedly funded using resources Claressa believed were part of their shared future. If true, this elevates the situation from heartbreak to exploitation. Money in relationships isn't just currency, it represents trust, stability, and shared intention. Allegedly redirecting those resources while maintaining a lie adds another layer of cruelty to an already devastating situation. Claressa reportedly believed she was contributing to shared goals, building stability and creating a foundation for the future. Instead, those same resources were allegedly being used to sustain a life she wasn't even aware of. That realization can dismantle someone's emotional foundation entirely, making them question not only the relationship, but their own judgment and self-trust. Then, as the situation began to explode publicly, 50 Cent entered the conversation, and he didn't hold back. Through social media posts and commentary, he openly mocked Claressa's devotion, claiming he saw this outcome from the very beginning. He labeled Papoose a playboy, an opportunist, and someone whose intentions were never genuine. His tone was blunt, dismissive, and unforgiving. Whether people agree with him or not, his involvement added fuel to an already raging fire. What might have remained a deeply painful but somewhat private experience instantly became viral content. Claressa's heartbreak was no longer hers alone. It became public discussion, entertainment, and debate. Memes circulated, opinions clashed. Every clip, every post, every silence was analyzed endlessly. Her pain unfolded in real time under a spotlight she never asked for. Fans reacted immediately and emotionally. Some expressed shock and sadness. Others felt anger on Claressa's behalf, believing she had been publicly humiliated while already dealing with private devastation.
social media turned into a courtroom of public opinion where every interview clip, every alleged document, and every reaction was treated like evidence in a trial. According to people close to Claressa, she was reportedly emotionally shattered, allegedly struggling to process how someone she trusted so deeply could maintain such an elaborate deception. The psychological toll of realizing your relationship may have been an illusion is immense. It doesn't just affect how you see the other person, it affects how you see yourself. It creates doubt, confusion, and emotional paralysis. This story resonates so deeply because it goes beyond celebrity culture. Claressa Shields is strong, disciplined, and accomplished, yet even she was vulnerable to love. Her physical strength didn't protect her from emotional manipulation, and that contrast makes the story even more painful. She wasn't careless, she wasn't naive, she was trusting. As more allegations surfaced, the picture grew darker. Reports of secret communications, hidden celebrations, and carefully curated public appearances painted a portrait of someone allegedly skilled at managing two realities at once. If true, every public moment served a purpose, reinforcing an image of loyalty while concealing betrayal beneath the surface. The alleged pregnancy confirmation became the final undeniable blow. For many observers, it validated suspicions that had lingered quietly for months. For Claressa, it reportedly confirmed her worst fears, that her love, trust, and commitment had been used against her. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing remains clear: the damage isn't just reputational, it's emotional, it's psychological, and it's deeply personal. While fans speculate and commentators react, Claressa is reportedly left to confront a reality she never imagined, one where love was allegedly used as a tool for manipulation and control. The world continues to watch as new revelations emerge, each one intensifying the narrative. This isn't just about who was right or wrong, it's about the cost of deception and the long-lasting impact of betrayal. Claressa's story stands as a stark reminder that sometimes the strongest people endure the deepest wounds. And as more information surfaces, one question lingers above all else: how do you rebuild after realizing the life you believed in was never real?